Well, hey, Good Life family, thank you so much for tuning in for today's 128. And I'm coming out of our Good Life journal. We started reading Proverbs, and we're reading Proverbs throughout the month of July. And Proverbs centers around wisdom, especially the beginning of it is a lot of discussion about wisdom. And I'm always looking on these 128s to see where the scripture is kind of intersecting our life and our culture and where we're at in this moment. And the more I thought about it, I just look at our culture, and it seems to me like we have more knowledge than ever before. Scientific breakthroughs, discoveries, things that we know more about than we ever have on planet Earth. However, I feel like simultaneously as our knowledge has gone up, in a lot of ways our wisdom has gone way down. That it's like we've put so much effort into knowing things that we've stopped caring or stopped doing the wise decision. And there's a big difference there. And I want to look at wisdom really quick. In Proverbs, I was reading this morning, and it says this. It says, "Wisdom cries aloud in the street. In the markets, she raises her voice. At the head of the noisy streets, she cries out. At the entrance of the city gates, she speaks. How long, O simple ones, will you love being simple? How long will scoffers delight in their scoffing, and fools hate knowledge?" There's a call. There's a call to us that we need wisdom. How long will we continue to go on without it? So that's what I want to look at this morning, and I'm going to take two mindsets that we need to have wisdom, and I'm going to take them out of what Jesus calls the first and the greatest commandment, to love the Lord your God with your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second is like it, to love your neighbor as yourself. So how can we have wisdom? Well, first, let's start with what it looks like to love the Lord your God with your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And I would say this, for us to have wisdom, the first mindset is we need to have an eternal mindset. An eternal mindset. We need to remember that we're not just merely, living in the moment. If we always make decisions based off of our present happiness, whatever feels good in a moment, whatever we want to do, it's just going to be fleeting pleasure. It's never going to be true wisdom. It's never going to be a lasting impact. I think about the way that we live our lives, the choices that we make. As we live today, let's live with a mindset towards eternity. Not just always picking the convenient thing in this moment, but thinking of what makes the greatest impact in loving the Lord our God with our heart, soul, mind, and strength. The first mindset is eternity. And the second mindset is very similar, playing off of that. Love your neighbor as yourself. The second mindset is humility, that we have to think of others is above ourselves. We have to think of ourselves less. And talk about where our culture is at and where the scripture is intersecting it. I can't get around just this connection right now, that if we talk about humility, loving your neighbor as yourself, putting other people above yourself, our culture worships your own autonomy. When we look back to Genesis 3 and we see original sin, the root of original sin was this idea of the pride of humankind, that we didn't want to live under God's authority. Instead, we wanted to have our own authority. And I'm just throwing it out there. We literally just had an entire month that was called Pride Month. I'm sorry, I don't want to be on a soapbox, but our culture worships autonomy. It worships me doing whatever I want to do and having pride about it. And that's just simply not the gospel. The gospel calls us to pick up our cross and die to self. If we're going to live for eternity, if we're going to live in wisdom, we have to have that eternal mindset, but we also have to be okay with living humble lives, with putting others above ourselves, not being pursuing our own ambitions, pursuing our own pride, but instead laying our lives down for the good of other people and for the service of God. So that's my message today, is let's be a people that seek after wisdom and seek what the Lord would have in that. So church family, thanks for tuning in. This Sunday, we're having one service, 9:30 service in person. We will be online as well at 11 o'clock. But no 11 o'clock service in person. It is July 4th Sunday, and we're hoping that you'll still come hang out with us. If not, we will have online service at 11, and looking forward to gathering together soon, kicking off a new series as well. So if you're joining us Sunday, can't wait to see you there. Otherwise, we'll see you online, and either way, we will see you soon. Thanks, family.